So, Giratina's actually done something this time. So, I'm going to change that music. And let's use Giratina. I'm only going to use it a couple more episodes because I don't particularly like this team. It's a little bit of fun using Giratina. We're going to find a low 1500s Japanese guy with Ryoga team. Fairly standard. Got the double grass, which is interesting. So, Giratina's looking pretty good here. Apart from that Mawile, I guess. I don't really have that much to hit the Mawile apart from Landorus. But that's threatened by the Kyogre. So I would expect a Whimsicott lead from him. So I think Crobat is quite a nice lead. I do need to bring my Landorus because of his Ferrothorn. In fact, I kind of need my Kyogre to hit the Mawile. I'm going to lead with Kyogre. And I'm going to lead with Giratina, because then his Mawile can't stop my Giratina from setting up, because I'll be able to just KO the Mawile, which would be nice, and I'll bring Landorus and Ferrothorn in the back. Because he looks fairly weak to Ferrothorn. He's almost certainly got a fire move on his Rayquaza, but like Ferrothorn looks really good otherwise. So I would expect a Whimsicott lead. Probably not a Crobat. I would say Whimsicott's probably preferable for him over Crobat, so here we go. Double restricted. It's an interesting lead. I don't often lead with both restricted at once, but it is Whimsicott and Mawile. Perfect. So he can just protect Tailwind here. And then he threatens my Giratina, but I do survive a Play Rough, which is very nice. And then I can just KO him in return with a Water Spout. So if he Sucker Punches Kyogre, then Giratina's safe, which is really nice. But I would expect a Tailwind Protect on the first turn. But then, does that mean I want to leave? I don't want to just KO Whimsicott. He Tailwinds and Protects, then goes into his own, like, Kyogre or Rayquaza and just spams stuff in Tailwind. So, I think I want to leave the Whimsicott on the field this turn. I wouldn't expect Water Spout plus Icy Wind to KO the Whimsicott. And that covers in case he switches his Mawile or if he actually ends up attacking. So, this should be fine. I don't want to Calm Mind because he could Encore me. He's going to Mega Evolve, so that does imply he's attacking, which is interesting, because usually you wouldn't Mega Evolve your Mawile if you're going to protect, or you shouldn't at least. But he is going to protect, so that's fairly interesting. Now, I would just expect Tailwind. No Tailwind. So is he going for Trick Room? He's going for Trick Room. I better KO him with this Icy Wind. That's not going to KO him. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Super effective, but it's a Giratina. Oh, is that a crit? That's a crit. Oh, got saved there, because that was definitely Trick Room. There's no way, like, Min Speed Whimsicott can actually underspeed my Giratina, because it's 108 minimum, but, like, he was almost certainly going for Trick Room there. Like, that crit bailed me out. Me saying I wanted to leave the Whimsicott on the field, but it's much better that I KO'd it. Especially because if he had gone for Tailwinds, that would, like, I wanted him to stay on the field, but because it was Trick Room, I definitely wanted him gone. But now, I would expect a Sucker Punch onto my, probably Kyogre, because you want to reduce the Water Spout damage, and he has protected his Mawile here, so I'm going to Scald it, because it also covers the Rayquaza switch, because it could burn it. And now do I Calm Mind? Scald shouldn't KO the Mawile if he's EV'd correctly. It does about the same as Origin Pulse. And you should EV your Mawiles to survive Origin Pulse. Do I Calm Mind here? I think I'm going to Calm Mind. Because then that stops him from Sucker Punching my Giratina. So he is going to Sucker Punch Kyogre, so that's fine. Scald was the correct play. That does a lot, so it's probably Adamant Max, which means this Scald could KO him. Which it does. Perfect. No, it doesn't. Oh, that's 1 HP. I was tricked. So now, if he Ice Beams, that's not going to do much. But I am in Sucker Punch range with my Kyogre, it seems. Oh, Thunder. That's going to KO my Kyogre. But then that gives me a switch into, what do I have? Ferrothorn and Landorus. So you wouldn't expect him to have Ferrothorn over Rayquaza here. So I did outspeed with both, didn't I? I outsped with Giratina. No, I surely outspeed with Giratina. Now, do I want to... Landorus won't be able to KO the Kyogre in one, so I want to go into Ferrothorn. I think I would Icy Wind here, because that covers the switch. Even though it can miss the Mawile, it covers the switch out into a Rayquaza. So I'm going to Power Whip the Kyogre, and I'm going to Icy Wind. Can Sucker Punch my Giratina, and that shouldn't do that much. Like, it will do a fair amount, probably about 50-60%, but that's not enough. And I'm pretty sure, yep, there we go, there's the Rayquaza switch. So the Icy Wind covered that very nicely. Dragon Pulse would have probably covered it better, but the Mawile would have stuck around that turn. So there's no Delta Stream. This Icy Wind at +1 should still do a decent amount. So he did protect, so it's a shame I didn't Dragon Pulse. But this Icy Wind does put him slower than my Giratina if I hit, which I do. Perfect. That does a lot of damage. Wow. This Power Whip is banded. It might KO. I don't expect it to. It's 4 times resisted, but it's going to do a lot. So close. But now I can super freely Icy Wind, and there's like nothing he can do. But I'm going to switch out my Ferrothorn into my Landorus to get the Intimidate going, and I'm going to Icy Wind, because the Intimidate will reduce the Sucker Punch damage, so that Giratina should take maybe 30-40% from the Sucker Punch. Maybe. I would guess around 40. But I do outspeed this Rayquaza, so he does have to protect this turn. And that... he doesn't even protect. No, he did Mega Evolve, so he can't... yeah, so he couldn't do that. There we go. That's about 30-40. So Icy Winds, double connects, double KO, perfect. And now Ferrothorn just wins in the back if I hit a Power Whip. So that is a good showcase of Giratina. That was really nice. I am surprised he didn't bring his Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn was good against my team. But I did get quite lucky with that Trick Room, or stopping the Trick Room. Almost certain Trick Room. Because he still could have been a min speed Moonblast, but yeah, like that was quite lucky with that critical hit. But then Giratina would have been bulky enough to survive a play rough, and I'd been able to hit back with my Kyogre, so that would have been fine. But now we just have to go through all this. I wish I was Telepathy, because then I could have just Earthquaked. But now I can just Superpower. In fact, I'm going to U-turn. Nah, Superpower. I don't need to mess around with anything like that. I'm going to Superpower and Shadow Ball, because I can get the drops, because I'm not expecting Kyogre to go down this turn. He could just forfeit. He doesn't, but Superpower plus Shadow Ball might knock it out. I wouldn't expect it to, but Shadow Ball can get the drops, and then I don't even need to risk the Power Whip miss. Unless he's got HP Fire that can break through the rain. Ferrothorn's just won this, so... although Giratina's just won this. Origin Pulse, Giratina dodges. That's quite funny. Landorus will definitely go down, so U-turn was the better play, but it doesn't matter at this point. So I'm just going to go into Ferrothorn, and I'm going to Dragon Pulse for the win. Don't even need Ferrothorn at all, did I? I did Power Whip the Rayquaza, but that didn't put... like, I had already done enough damage that Icy Wind would have KO'd it anyway, so I didn't need Ferrothorn at all. But it was nice to have against his team. As soon as the Rayquaza was dealt with, Ferrothorn pretty much just won. So I'm going to... should I explode? I'm going to click Explosion, and I'm going to Dragon Pulse. Just for the style. He could protect his Kyogre, but he's going to forfeit. That could have been risky if I'd have just missed the KO and he had frozen my Giratina, but you know, that's not going to happen again, is it? I hope not. So that was a pretty good game. Let's try and get another one. Because I'm not going to be using Giratina that much more, so try and make use of it while I can. So, there we go. I'm above the 1600s at the moment. Like, I haven't really laddered that much with this. So pretty much just, like, apart from maybe a couple of matches, I've only done the ones that have been recorded. Because I tested out the team and it's not very good, but it's a Giratina, what do you expect? So hopefully we find like a dual primal team, because I think Giratina's got the best time against dual primal. It did well against Ryoga. Like, the Rayquaza could have Draco Meteor, and that sways it in his favour, but that's not so common on Rayquaza now. So, it should be fine. I'm going to find a guy under the 1500s, so this might not be the most competitive team. Okay, that's a pretty competitive team for under the 1500s. So he probably just played the first game, got paired against like an 1800 and lost the first one. So that's what's put him at below the 1500s. So Giratina, as long as the Xerneas goes, is looking nice. It's probably not the call, given that Xerneas can just OHKO it if it gets the Geomancy Moonblast, but I survive a Dazzling Gleam at +2, and I want to bring Giratina because it's the point of this. So I'm going to bring Giratina. Do I want to lead Crobat as well? I think Crobat's a nice lead. But then I can't, if I haze, I can't set up Calm Minds. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe an oversight when I was building the team, that the haze and Calm Mind synergy isn't the best. But, so I kind of need the Landorus, don't I? Then I won't have Ferrothorn to deal with Xerneas. So maybe I should sacrifice Crobat. I should sacrifice Giratina. And that was a notification. I am sponsored by notifications. Another one. Perfect. Let's go all in. I'm going to leave the Landorus, expecting him not to bring the Ferrothorn, even though he should. Because even then, I've got Giratina to deal with the Ferrothorn somewhat. Not very well. It will beat it one-on-one, but this is not one-on-one. This is 2v2 at pretty much all times. So, is he going to lead Kangaskhan? I would expect a Kangaskhan lead. But Kangaskhan is terrible against this. So it's Cresselia Groudon, okay. I'm fine with that. So I would expect Trick Room from this Cresselia. I can just get a Calm Mind up. I need to turn my phone off. There we go. Right, so haven't got, because the Primal Reversions go after all the abilities, I don't get to see if Giratina's faster, because I would have been able to because of pressure, which is a shame. So I think I'm just completely free to Calm Mind here. Now, do I taunt the Cress? Do I Super Fang? Because he could have a Mental Herb and then it just becomes pointless. But I'm going to try and taunt the Cress. I have a Ferrothorn in the back, don't I? Yeah. So even if he has Mental Herb, it's not the worst. He's going to help him. Ooh. That's not so good. Is he going to be faster? So I'm going to get the... Yeah, so that was a nice helping hand to avoid the taunt. So he's probably not Mental Herb. He's not. It's Rock Slide. So that shouldn't still do that much to Giratina. It could knock out the Crobat, though. Apparently not. So that's pretty good. There's a crit on the Giratina as well. Look how bulky it is. So I'm going to get this Calm Mind up. And we do confirm he is faster than my Giratina with his Groudon. So no, almost certainly no Trick Room. So you'd expect Icy Wind. So I'm definitely expecting an Icy Wind this turn. I could just Tailwind. Tailwind makes sense because then I can just switch into Kyogre when... Yeah, so I can get another Calm Mind, and I can sack my Crobat while going for the Tailwind. As long as he doesn't switch. He shouldn't switch. And he should KO my Crobat this turn. Because he's forced to Icy Wind, which is what I'd expect. So Rock Slide. Okay, so that's going to KO the Crobat. Ice Beam will not do much to Giratina. I could outspeed the Cress anyway. But if you're running a fast Groudon, you should run a fast Cress. It's not faster than Giratina. Is he going for Trick Room this turn? No, he can't. I taunted him. So it almost certainly an Ice Beam or an Icy Wind. But now I'm at +2. It is going to be Icy Wind, so that's not such a big deal. Because I got my Tailwind up, I just go into Kyogre now and I Water Spout for the win. So this is quite a nice setup. So I can just Shadow Ball the Cress and Water Spout, and that's a double knockout. Which is perfect. So, Kyogre. And then just Spout for the win. So Xerneas isn't really a problem, because he didn't lead with it. He can't get any Geomancies now. I've got 3 turns of Tailwinds. His form of Speed Control is Icy Wind. It can't be Trick Room. If he has it, he's taunted, he can't use it. So, the slot on the right is gone. Because if I just Shadow Ball and Water Spout, if a Kang switches in a normal form, it gets KO'd to the Water Spout. If it's a Xerneas, then Water Spout plus Shadow Ball knocks it out. Groudon has to protect or switch out, else it gets KO'd from the Water Spout. So this is an amazing position. So Shadow Ball onto the Cress, Water Spout. So is he just going to sack both? If he's Citrus Berry Cress, he might live, but I'm at +2 Shadow Ball now. Because I could just do over 50% and he goes up to 74. And then, no, he's going to switch out Groudon, so that slot should go. That's Kangaskhan, so that gets KO'd by in normal form with just a Water Spout. And is he going to sack the Cress? He's going to sack the Cress as well, so that's fine. So that is a huge amount. So the issue now is that he gets the weather back with his Groudon and Xerneas. So I can't just Water Spout now. can just double up onto the Groudon with an Ice Beam and a Shadow Ball, and that should be a knockout. But he could Protect and Geomancy. That's an issue. Because as soon as Groudon goes down, Ferrothorn wins. And he has shown himself to be physical, so he would be Precipice Blades and Fire Punch, almost certainly. He could be Eruption, Earth Power, Rock Slide, but in fact he could be, given that the Helping Hand Rock Slide didn't KO my Crobat. I'm not sure on the calc there. So does he just protect his Groudon? Because if he protects his Groudon and I double into it, like, I would expect a Protect from something. I wouldn't expect a double Protect, because then I can just attack you next turn. Okay. Got to call it correctly. I could Icy Wind, because that covers the Geomancy somewhat, because then I could still attack with the Kyogre first. But I don't think so. Like, I think the Groudon's going to Protect, but it makes sense for me to get rid of it. So, it is going to Protect, yeah. I knew it was going to happen, and I had the Ferrothorn on the back. If I didn't have the Ferrothorn on the back, I'd have probably double into the Xerneas. But, yeah. Ice Beam plus Shadow Ball wouldn't have KO'd, but it was definitely the better play. Yeah, there's the Geomancy. That's exactly the play I predicted, and I just played too quote-unquote safe. That's something I hate doing. Because I definitely called the correct play, and I just didn't capitalise off it. Which is annoying, because I should have switched out my Kyogre into Ferrothorn, and then I could have brought it back in, and Gyro Balled the Xerneas, because then he couldn't have protected his Groudon from the rain. Now, I've got 2 Calm Minds up, so actually, this should be fine. Because I can just Shadow Ball the Groudon, and Ice Beam the Groudon. Actually, that might not be a KO. Do I Icy Wind? No, it should be a KO. I'm at +2 now. Should be fine. And I do outspeed with Kyogre, interesting. So I didn't need to Icy Wind, which is good to know. So this Shadow Ball, I'll live without a crit. There's that crit. So that makes up for the Icy Wind crit in the first match. That is such a shame. Because I'm... Shadow Ball might not have been a KO at that range, but that is very unfortunate. So my Tailwind's gone now, so he just Dazzling Gleams and Fire Punches. That's a shame. That was a more crucial crit, because I could have dealt with a Trick Room. I'm pretty sure Groudon would have got KO to the Shadow Ball. Oh, that's a shame. So I am going to try and Explode and Protect. If for some reason he doesn't Fire Move my Ferrothorn. That's my only win condition now. I would have just expected Dazzling Gleams, KO the Kyogre, and then a Fire Punch. He might not have a Fire Move. No, he's going to Fire Punch. There we go. So Ferrothorn's gone down. That's such a shame. I easily survived that Dazzling Gleam without the crit. I'm pretty sure it had done, like, it may have even been a 2-hit KO, because I think I survive a +2 Dazzling Gleam anyway, so I'm pretty sure it would have been a 2-hit KO. That's really disappointing. But I am going to Water Spout in the sun. At low HP, it will do a huge amount of damage, but Dazzling Gleam is enough to knock out Kyogre. That's a shame. So that's twice now. Giratina was set up and ready to do work, and then got frozen, and then got crit. So, perfect. But it was pretty good in the first game, and it almost... It would have done work. I should have doubled into the Xerneas because the Ground Protect was super obvious, but then I just played too much with Ferrothorn in the back in mind, so that was something to learn from. Thanks for watching.